So summer is here and many people are going to be spending a lot more time outside, which is fantastic. And it's even more fantastic when we know what hazards are out there and how to avoid them. Poison ivy is incredibly variable, and so some of the leaves can have teeth on them, some of them can be smooth, some of them can be large or small. And so you need to look at a lot of samples in nature or in a herbarium to get a good idea of what it looks like. Out of these samples here, which one do you think is the poison ivy? Actually, every single one of these samples is poison ivy. You can see that they're very different from each other. One of the reasons is that some of them have teeth on them, some of them have smooth edges, but also some of them are red and some of them are green. And that reflects how the color of the plant changes over the course of the season. Even one sample can have a lot of variability in the form of the leaves and the size. This sample has flowers that was collected in the spring. This sample is close to the end of the season, so the plant has turned red and the berries are mature. And in this sample here, you can see that the leaves are still very small. This poison ivy plant looks very similar to Manitoba maple, say. How do we know that this is the real thing? Well, first of all, remember that we said that maple trees have the leaves opposite each other on the stem. And on this sample, you can see that they're alternating. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. For example, on this specimen, those two leaves are so close to each other, they could trick you into thinking they're opposite. So you have to be very vigilant. So now that we've got to know some of these plants with leaves of 3 in the herbarium, let's go outside and see if we can recognize them in nature. So you don't have to go on a big expedition into the woods to find poison ivy. You can find it right on the edge of our parking lot here, for example, just on the edge of the lawn. Here's a plant that's just crept onto the grass, and then further back in the edge of the trees, there's a carpet of poison ivy. Poison ivy produces flowers and berries, and the berries are actually edible for birds, not for people. And that is how the poison ivy plant disperses to colonize new areas. I hope you have a wonderful time exploring nature this summer, and I know you're going to see lots of cool plants on your travels. When you're looking around, remember those leaves of 3 and take a closer look before you take the next step.